following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score Breakdown Show, brought to you by Hoop Ball. My name's Adrian Benjamins. Joined with me is Neil Rochlani. Neil, how are you tonight?
The bigger question is, how are you today? I know you're embarrassed by it, but today is your birthday, and I want to wish you a very happy birthday.
Thank you.
I won't go into any more details except to say I hope you're having a great day, and it's a pleasure. I get to spend part of it with you, so thanks for letting me join you tonight on our show.
You know, I cannot think of anything else. I'm not joking, Neil. Anything else I want to do, but let's talk hoops. Let's look at all these great games. We've got some amazing storylines happening. The premiere of Jimmy Butler on the Sixers, a new look Wolves team. We got a lot of stuff to dive into, and we got a lot of games to talk about. So, Neil, I can't think of any way to spend my birthday than here talking hoops with you, man. I can't wait. Let's dive in, man.
All right, let's go. Let's go to game one, which I don't even know what that is. What do you have on your card?
I got Philly and Orlando, and if you don't mind, why don't you go first? Because I'm literally just opening up my box scores as we're speaking.
Yeah, let's go. I'll start it off. Orlando 111, Philadelphia 106. Nice win for Orlando. I wasn't sure how this would look tonight, so this is actually one of the games you're talking about. Jimmy Butler starts for Philadelphia, plays 33 minutes, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 of 12 shooting, 2 of 2 from the line, no defensive stats. I did not get to see this game to see how it looked, but looks like it was a competitive game all throughout. Joel Embiid had the triple-double, 19 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists. Just shot 6 of 20, though. 4 of 7 from three-pointer land, 2 blocks. Ben Simmons, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists. Just took 5 shots. This is what we were worried a little bit about how his scoring would be with these two guys. Maybe he would triple-double with 10 to 15 points and 10 and change and rebounds and assists. Not tonight, though. Kind of a slow night for him. Wilson Chandler also got the start. 23 minutes, 14 points, 4 rebounds. Did have 2 3-pointers and a steal. J.J. Redick now in the starting lineup over Markelle Fultz. He had a solid game. 22 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 8 of 13 shooting, 2 of 2 from the line, including 4 3-pointers. Off the bench, Mike Muscala, someone I'm keeping an eye out for. 26 minutes, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a 3-pointer. Did go 0 of 2 from the line. Markelle Fultz played 21 minutes, 8, 3, and 2 with no 3-pointers, no defensive stats, and only 1 turnover, which is nice. Landry Shamet played 15 minutes. Cork Maz played 15 minutes as well. We still have to wait. For my impression is wait and see how this plays out. I think Wilson Chandler may be a pickup target for a streaming 3-and-D guy at some point. I don't think I'm going to pick him up just yet, but that's my main takeaway from tonight, and that Redick's value is going to increase. What are your thoughts on Philadelphia?
Very disappointed to see Philly lose on Butler's first game here. But I agree with you, man. I got an eye on the power forward spot here. And Wilson Chandler, man, getting the start and actually looking pretty good in his first start with this team. So I'm keeping an eye on that situation. Muscala got more minutes, but I think Wilson Chandler is the guy that you want to watch. And you pretty much covered everything else, man. I'm going to dive into the Orlando Magic side of this game. Going to start with Vucevic, 30 points, 2 steals, 4 assists, 8 rebounds, 10 of 19 from the field. He added 3 threes, 7 of 8 from the line. This is a stellar game from Vucevic. Aaron Gordon with 17 points, 2 blocks, a steal, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. He added a 3, shot 7 of 13. It's a good game from him. Neil, it's time tonight for bad DJ Augustine. 4 points, the 9 assists is nice, but didn't have a steal, didn't have a rebound. He didn't have a 3. In 31 minutes, he made 1 of 6 shots. Not pretty from him tonight. Same goes with Evan Fournier. 9 points. He shot 4 of 12, so just killed your field goal percentage. Didn't do much else except for 4 rebounds and 2 steals. I'm sorry, 4 rebounds. Didn't have 2 steals, just 4 rebounds. So not great here. Terrence Ross, Neil, a guy that you and I have been talking about for the past few games. 15 points, 1 steal, 1 assist, 7 rebounds, 3 out of 5 from downtown, 6 and 9. Didn't start, but is seeing starter-type minutes. Played 31 minutes tonight. I think he needs to be picked up. I tried to pick him up in my home league, and somebody outbid me on him, so I missed out on him there. Not too much else to talk about here, Neil. What are your thoughts on the Orlando Magic?
Yeah, well, Awindu is someone I've been watching to see if his minutes increase. Still, way out of the notion to pick up or to even think about picking up. But I am watching him from a distance. Like you said, DJ Augustine having a struggling night. The other person, like you said, Terrence Ross, still on my watch list. I think there are better options for 3-and-D guys, even though he is currently 97th on a per-game basis. I picked up Justin Holiday recently from the Bulls, who's in the 60s. And I'm going to run with him for a little while. I dropped Jay Crowder. And the last thing I'll say is Mo Bamba, just not really getting the minutes, just 9 minutes. I decided to stream him this week because he's playing 4 games, thinking he might help me win blocks. So far, 2 games, no blocks. And I'm tied in blocks, Adrian, so I'm going to blame it on Mo if it doesn't work out for me. Anyway, that's what I got. Should we go on to game 2?
Let's do it, man.
You got
Where should we go?
I got Cleveland and Washington.
That's what I got.
All right. Washington crushes them 119-95. It looks like the Wizards are back on track a bit. I'll take the Cleveland side. I guess the one bright spot we've been talking about has been Colin Sexton. Tonight he had a scoring bonanza, 24 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. So not a great assist guy, 4-point guard, but he is 4 for 4 from the line, 2 3-pointers, no defensive stats, and he turned it over 4. So not great, but not terrible for a point guard. Tristan Thompson coming off a great game. Tonight just played 19 minutes, 9 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals and a block. Larry Nance Jr. had a decent game considering he's starting 26 minutes, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 of 4 from the field, 1 3-pointer. Actually had a really good game because now I'm seeing defensive stats, 4 steals and 2 blocks. J.R. Smith, we talked about his good game last time. Tonight kind of became irrelevant again. 24 minutes, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and no 3-pointers. Rodney Hood played 16 minutes, 10 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. This game really got out of hand early, and I think a lot of these starters sat. So guys like David Mwaba, 11-7-1 with 2 steals and a block. Jordan Clarkson, someone I played in our DFS league and Hoop Ball league. Adrian, I might finish dead last in that. We'll see. 9 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Chetty Osman off the bench now, 4, 5, and 3. I like to see him get back in the starting rotation. I imagine it'll happen sooner than later. Andrew Harrison, who's I believe is on a – actually, I don't know what his contract is, but 10, 4, and 2. And that's really it. Not much. Cleveland got blown out. All the stats kind of faded away, except for Colin Sexton, who may have already been scooped up in your leagues, but I think he is going to be someone who's going to crack. Let's see where he is currently on – bear with me for just 1 second. He is currently 175. I think he'll shoot up into the startable range at some point this season. All right, your thoughts on Cleveland?
This game, as you mentioned earlier, was a blowout. We're missing Korver. Of course, we're missing Love, George Hill, Sam Decker. So the blowout factor mixed with all these guys that are out, I'm going to take it with a grain of salt, but I am very encouraged by Larry Nance Jr. As you mentioned, Neil, the shooting wasn't quite there, but those defensive stats were there. Contributed in assists, rebounds. He had a 3. So I'm really hoping that he's jump starting into what we hoped he would be. And as you mentioned, man, Colin Sexton probably already picked up all over the place when George Hill went down. He looks like he's poised to have a nice rest of season, hopefully. All right, man. Oh, one last thought. David Nwaba, second game in a row. Again, I'm hesitant to make a move on him, Neil, in deep leagues, only because we're missing like all these guys. It was a blowout. But this is the second game in a row, Neil, that he put up a usable line here. I need some help in some deep leagues. I'm a little tempted to jump on him and see if it pans out. I don't know, man. We'll see. Anyways, the Washington Wizards, here we go. Bradley Beal, 20 points, 3 steals, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. Took 10 threes tonight, made 3 of them, 7 of 16 from the field, 3 of 4 from the line. Neil, I get asked a lot about Otto Porter Jr. A little bit of a bounce back here. I'm encouraged from what I'm seeing here from him tonight. 15 points, 2 steals, 3 rebounds. 4 rebounds, 3 assists, a 3. Shot a nice 7 of 11 from the field. It's a nice game from him. John Wall, a little bit of a disappointing game because the scoring was down. Only made 3 of 10 from the field for 8 points, 2 steals, 9 assists, 5 rebounds. He also added a 3. Keith Morris here, only with 11 points, not too much else in 21 minutes. Dwight Howard as well, and with just 10 points, 7 rebounds in about 20 minutes. So not too much there. It was Rivers contributing off the bench with 12 points in 29 minutes. Not too much else here. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Wizards?
Yeah, not a whole lot. Changes for me here. What I'm seeing, a lot of their starters didn't have to play many minutes. Like you said, John Wall played just 21 minutes tonight. No one really got to 30 minutes that I can see. Austin Rivers got a nice run, but this is all due to a blowout game. We've had a few games tonight were just really one-sided, and when that happens, it's hard to take really much away from the stats and to really get any insight. So, yeah, I've got nothing really else to add in terms of fantasy implications.
Let's move on to the next one. Yeah, I'm counting 4 blowouts tonight, so we'll talk about it as we go.
All right, I've got Chicago Boston. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it.
Another blowout, 111-82. Boston, of course, wins this one. On the Chicago side, the aforementioned Justin Holiday, 32 minutes, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 for 10 shooting, though, 2 of 7 from three-point land, and a steal. No one really had a good line at all in the starting lineup. Jabari Parker, 14, 5, and 2 on 2 3-pointers. Wendell Carter Jr., 11 and 7, no assists, 1 block. Zach LaVine, kind of a weak night for him, too. 10 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 of 4 from the line, though, and a steal. Ryan, I'm not going to pronounce his last name. Their starting point guard.
I don't know how to say his last name either, man.
Chef does it
name.
Perfectly. So, anyway, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. He took 5 shots, had a steal and a turnover. Off the bench, Shaquille Harrison, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 7 of 10 for shooting. I guess he had the best line, 4 steals. I'm certain no one really played him, though. Also, Chandler Hutchinson got 21 minutes, did not do much fantasy-wise. Blakeney as well off the bench. This team is just they're not starting to they don't have much to really offer right now with all the injuries. Markkanen should come back soon, Portis, and then Chris Dunn as well, all looking to come back sometime, probably early next month, later this month. Until then, Chicago's going to be a train wreck, and tonight they ran into a very good Boston team. So nothing to take away except, I almost didn't start Justin Holiday tonight because he was going against Boston, but I figured sometimes it's counterproductive. So I'm glad I did. He did play 32 minutes and took a fair amount of shots. It just didn't fall for him tonight. So anyway, any thoughts on Chicago?
As you mentioned, Neil, just awful night all around. It looks like every single player was in the minus category. And Neil, maybe they're dreaming of Zion, man. Them in Cleveland. Neil, I don't know if you saw, but Duke played tonight, and Zion had an alley-oop dunk where his teeth, I think, almost hit the rim. It was ridiculous. That guy is out of control. So I think maybe the Bulls are dreaming of Zion, man. But anyways, you covered it all. Not too much else to touch on there. Maybe I just want to add that I love what I've been seeing from Wendell Carter Jr. I don't know what that means for you guys because he's already owned everywhere. Maybe you can try to buy low on him after this game, but I'm guessing not. I'm going to jump in the Celtics. Going to start with Jaylen Brown, to me, had the best game here with 18 points, shot a beautiful 8 of 14, 2 threes, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal. Jason Tatum with 14 points, a steal, 6 rebounds, 4 threes tonight from Jason Tatum, shot 5 of 14. Kyrie Irving still doing his thing, 17 points, 2 steals, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, a 3, perfect 4 of 4 from the line, 6 of 8 from the field. Gordon Hayward with 11 points, 3 steals, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, a 4 of 12, 1 of 3. Actually, a decent line from Hayward, who's been struggling of late. Al Horford, in only 20 minutes, put up 10 points, 2 blocks, a steal, 3 assists, 8 rebounds. So all usable lines from the starters here. Terry Rozier getting 30 minutes off the bench with 12 points, a steal, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. Only shot 5 of 15. Not too much else off the bench here, Neil. Neil, there was some buzz earlier today. Gordon Hayward mentioned that he does not mind coming off the bench. I think he realizes that he's kind of struggling, still working his way back from missing all that time from the injury last season. It's clear that the Celtics are kind of not that juggernaut that we saw last season. So I think Hayward's like, hey, I don't mind coming off the bench if it helps the team and it lets him kind of get his feet and get back up to speed. So that's really interesting. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Boston Celtics?
That's really interesting. I did see also news on his minute restrictions had been recently lifted. So in a blowout, he still got 29 minutes, got 31 last game, and I think is poised to get around that 30-minute plus range going forward. So I don't think it'll hurt his game. Might actually help it to come off the bench and go against a weaker second unit. In terms of the Boston Celtics, Kyrie Irving now back to 13th overall, or I should say in a per-game 8-cat league or 8-cat ranking. So if you're able to buy low on him, good job to anyone out there who made a good trade for him. But anyway, Terry Rozier, 12-4-2. Good to see him get a lot of run. Just really a function of the blowout. And then, these stat lines were a little depressed for Horford. Just played 20 minutes. Again, blowout games are tough to take anything away from a fantasy perspective. So should we go on to our next game, which was
Let's keep rolling. Who do you got next?
I got another blowout game. Miami, Brooklyn.
Yep.
I did not foresee this blowout. I thought Brooklyn was actually going to win this game. So wrong about that. They go into Brooklyn and win 120-107. I know LeVert was hurt. I thought maybe this would be a rallying game for Brooklyn. And the guys would step up and have that emotional win being on home court. Did not happen. On the Miami side, let's see. Josh Richardson, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 of 7 from three-point lands, 2 3-pointers, no steals, no blocks. Ronnie Magruder, 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 for 9 from the field. A steal, no three-pointers. Justin Winslow, 6 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 turnovers. Hassan Whiteside, double-doubled, 14 and 10, 4-6 from the line, so not bad. Also had 2 blocks and 2 steals, so solid line from him. Goran Dragic, nice to see him back and playing well. 21 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 3-pointer. Tyler Johnson, off the bench, got 31 minutes, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 blocks and 2 3-pointers. So this guy is another 3-and-D guy on my watch list. He is currently 142 per game basis in ACAT. I'm worried about this rotation with Ellington now back there and Dragic back in there. So I've not picked him up yet in any leagues, but or actually I own him in one league, I think, and so far he produced. Ellington off the bench, played 26 minutes, only went for 8 points, though, 1 and 3 with 3 steals and 2 3-pointers. Olynyk got 16 minutes. Adebayo 10 minutes. Did get 12 points. I guess I'm watching Olynyk, Adebayo. I know there are some people that are still thinking Olynyk can have positive value. He's still at 166 in the rankings and just not really getting the minutes. So I'll just watch him. Tyler Johnson is the one person I'm watching here. I was watching Wayne Ellington too, and see how that is. He's someone who can stream. You might be able to stream for threes. And tonight got 3 steals, so that would be nice if you had him in there. But that's all I'm taking away from this game. How about you?
Neil, in my 14-team home league, it's an 8-category roto league. Last night, I dropped Langston Galloway and I picked up Tyler Johnson. And I didn't have him plugged in my lineup tonight, but I love what I saw from him tonight. And one of the things that I really like a lot, Neil, is there's certain players who are handcuffed to multiple starters. And I feel like Tyler Johnson is that type of player, meaning if Goran Dragic misses time, if Magruder misses time, if Josh Richardson misses time, if Ellington misses time, we see Tyler Johnson get a pretty good boost. There's other players like that, like Josh Okogie, if Rose misses time, or if Wiggins is out, or we see Okogie. So I love kind of stashing players, if you can afford it, that have these guys where if a number of guys go down, they benefit. And I feel like Tyler Johnson is that type of guy. I love that he saw 31 minutes here, even with all the guys healthy. So I think he's worth owning. As I said, this is a 14-team league, so definitely in deep leagues like that, go get Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Those handcuffs that you know right away, and that can produce when they come in. You know, sometimes handcuffs can't produce, but this guy can. So that's a good one to have.
All right, man, I'm going to jump into the Brooklyn Nets. And before I get started, real interesting here, we know that LeVert is going to be out for months. And Jared Allen is also out. I believe he's ill, with a flu or something like that. So really surprised because he missed the last game. So he must be really under the weather here. One other interesting thing, Neil, Alan Crabb getting the start here. And I'm wondering if he's directly getting the start for Karis LeVert. And I'll go ahead. I'll start with Crabb. Only 6 points, 2 steals, a rebound in 26 minutes. He's gotten off to a really slow start to the season, but I think you can make a speculative add on him with the injury to LeVert just to see what happens here. Joe Harris with 11 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, a 3. Not a great game, but I would stick with Harris. D'Angelo Russell with 12 points, 5 assists, a steal, 3 rebounds. The shooting wasn't quite there tonight, 6 of 18. He missed. He took 3 shots from 3-point range, missed them all. But I think D'Angelo is going to benefit from the loss of LeVert. Actually, probably the best game tonight was maybe Spencer Dinwiddie off the bench. Still got 29 minutes for 18 points, a steal, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Damari Carroll is back, played 28 minutes, which is really nice to see. The shooting wasn't quite there. It was only 2 of 9 tonight for 8 points and assists, 6 rebounds. But if you picked him up in a deep league, you got to be pretty happy that he saw 28 minutes. Maybe he can start rolling. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, another guy who I thought could benefit the most from the LeVert injury. 14 points, 9 rebounds, a steal, a block. Little disappointing to see that he only saw 23 minutes, but pretty decent usage, getting 13 shots tonight, making 6 of them. I think you definitely got to stick with Hollis-Jefferson or pick him up if he's available. Not too much else here, Neil. What are your thoughts on the Brooklyn Nets?
Yeah, well, I anticipate this to be a game to sort of start to figure things out in terms of how to evaluate it. Unfortunately, it was a little bit of a blowout, so that takes a little bit of my ability to analyze it. But I agree with you with Dinwiddie. They're missing a ball handler and a guy who can distribute, and Dinwiddie can do that. Hard to know though if this 29 minutes, how much of that is because of the blowout, and how much is that because they need him. But I think right now he's one. I have him at 107th in ACAT averages, and I think that will go up. He will be in somewhere in the 80 to 90 range, I believe. And then I guess Ed Davis got the start because of the Whiteside matchup, but I think if that wasn't the case, Hollis Jefferson would have been in there. And then, like you mentioned, Crabbe, I think, is going to get the start over for LeVert's absence. I don't know how fantasy viable he'll be, though. He was right on the edge last year of being viable, and I think he's not going to be as good this year. So may not be worth it in regular leagues. Deeper leagues, though, I think he might be worth an ad. That's what I got on Brooklyn. Anything else you want to add before we move on?
Let's move on, man.
All right, I've got Detroit-Toronto on the next game. Toronto gets I guess sort of a revenge game with the coach, right? They come back in, they win. I did not see this happening. 106-104. Detroit wins. Big night from Blake Griffin, 30 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 3-pointers, 3 steals, 2 blocks. This guy is having just a phenomenal year. Andre Drummond, 11 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 of 5 from the field, 1 of 4 from the line. So not great. Not very efficient. Did have a block. Reggie Jackson, decent line, 13 points, 1 rebound, 6 assists, and a 1 3-pointer. Disappointing night from Reggie Bullock, just 5 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 2 of 9 shooting, and 2 steals. Glenn Robinson getting the start, but just playing 17 minutes, just 7 points, 1 rebound. Someone I was watching come into the year, and I'm going to stop watching him until he does something different. Just 1 3-pointer. Langston Galloway, like you said, actually didn't have a bad night. Got 31 minutes, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 3-pointers. Stanley Johnson played 22 minutes. Ish Smith, 21. That's really it. Taken away from this is I don't know if I'm no longer really watching Glenn Robinson. Maybe Reggie Bullock on my watch list. They're both still way down there. I've got to scroll down to even see Glenn Robinson, 291 on an ACAT, and Reggie Bullock's a little better, 225. But neither of those guys are anywhere close to coming in. Same with Ish Smith. I guess the only guys worth owning are Blake Griffin and Drummond, and then maybe Reggie Jackson if you need a low-end point guard. But this team doesn't really provide much in terms of fantasy value. Your thoughts?
Just want to note that I was a little happy, Neil, to see Coach Casey get the revenge game here. And, I'm also surprised that they got the win here because, Neil, I was watching this game, I think, early in the fourth quarter, and it looked like the Raptors had this game in hand. So Detroit must have really went on a run here towards the end of the game to get back into it. So I wish I stuck with that game and watched the rest of it because it was probably a really good finish here. So that's all I got. I'm going to go over to the Raptors side. Got to start with Kawhi Leonard, 26 points. 6 turnovers is a little tough, but the 3 steals, 4 assists, 9 rebounds, a good 10 of 18 shooting with 6 of 8 from the line. Still a really good night from Kawhi Leonard. Kyle Lowry with 14 points, 5 turnovers from Lowry, but also added 7 assists, 7 rebounds, a 3, shot a nice 6 of 10 from the field. Good game from him. Pascal Siakam, 17 points, a block, a steal, 2 assists, 7 rebounds. He added a 3, shot a very efficient 8 of 12. Neil, this guy, man, I wish I owned him. I don't think I have a single share of him, and I'm pretty bummed out about it, man, because he is really good. Neil, one interesting thing about this game, Serge Ibaka ruled out with knee soreness. I'm hoping this isn't anything that's gonna cause him to miss more games, or I hope it's nothing that becomes serious. I get a little nervous when centers and big men have knee issues, so it is definitely something to keep on your radar. So it was Jonas Valanciunas getting the start here. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 1 block, 6 of 12 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line in 27 minutes. Neil, I believe Danny Green left this game as well with lower back tightness. So another thing here to keep in mind. I'm very disappointed in this one because I own Danny Green in a few leagues where I need help in my small forward spot. So I'm really hoping this isn't a long-term thing, but it's definitely not great. So OG Anunoby, 24 minutes off the bench, 7 points, 2 steals, a block, 3 rebounds. I love the usage. The shot wasn't falling tonight, only 3 of 12, but taking 12 shots shows he's getting a lot of looks in this offense. He took 6 threes tonight. He only made 1 of them, so that's really nice. Greg Monroe, where's he been all year? 21 minutes off the bench for 17 points, 9 rebounds, a steal, shot 8 of 10. I don't think we need to make any kind of move on Monroe, but let's keep an eye on him. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Raptors?
Yeah, the one thing about Monroe I would say is if Ibaka's out for a while, maybe you stream Monroe. If you have one of those spots where you can, in a head-to-head league, where you can drop someone and put someone in for a few days, he might be in that category. And then the other news I think is, or the other thing to mention is just, watch Danny Green. He's someone who is in the just sitting inside top 100 and does so many of those little things that don't really get noticed as much that allows him to stay there. And I will say, Siakam, I was able to get him in my home league. Adrian, I am so happy. I think in order to do well in a league, I have to at least hit on 1 pickup during the year. Hopefully more than 1. But if I hit on 1, it really gives me a chance. And that's the case. I'm not going to trade this guy. Right now he's 48th in ACAT per game. I think he can get even higher. So excited, and he's so fun to watch. I don't know if you've seen him. He's very talented. Like it's not just a stat thing. He belongs out there and plays so well.
Neil, I saw a highlight reel video of him just doing spin moves, of him just spinning off of defenders, and I am shocked by how good this guy looks. And one of the things that I love is his stat set, man. He's got an all-around game, provides in multiple categories. He's just beautiful, man. I'm a fan. I am a fan. All right. Where should we go next?
Let's go next. I've got, a close one, Memphis-Milwaukee. Memphis gets the win 116-113 on the road. Let's see, some really great stat lines here. Start off with Marc Gasol, 29 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists on 10 of 8 shooting, including 6 3-pointers, a steal and a block. Mike Conley had 26 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists on 6 of 8 from the line. 2 3-pointers and 2 steals. Kyle Anderson, you'll like this, Adrian, 39 minutes, 6 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. Only took 5 shots and only got a block, so nothing much in defensive categories, but he is starting to creep his way into fantasy relevancy. Jaren Jackson Jr. only played 16 minutes. I don't know if you want to check on any injury news. Did have 5 personal fouls, so maybe that was it. 13 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. 1 of 1 from the 3-point line. 2 steals, no blocks. Garrett Temple playing 38 minutes. This guy just can't produce no matter what, unfortunately. 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 3-pointer. Okay, maybe he can produce a little bit, but not for that many minutes. Shelvin Mack became somewhat relevant again tonight. 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal. And that's really it. Marshawn Brooks got 16 minutes off the bench. So did Wayne Selden Jr. You know, I'm not really into Shelvin Mack as a fantasy asset. I know he has had some good games where people have streamed him. Maybe you can stream him a little bit. He's still 124 on a per game basis. So to me, he's on the outside looking in, and he doesn't really get enough usage. He can have enough bad games that can really take this down a lot. And then Really nice to see Kyle Anderson. He's 189, but I think he's going to creep his way towards that 100 and 100 ranking at some. He's going to end up somewhere around there this season, I think. So good to see him starting to get all these minutes, and obviously he helped get them to a win over a very good Milwaukee team on the road. So nice performance there. Any thoughts from you on Memphis?
You're reading my mind again. I was just about to talk about how this Memphis Grizzlies team got a gritty win against a very talented Milwaukee Bucks team. So, as you said, I am pretty happy about Kyle Anderson here. The big minutes tonight, sure, the line wasn't that great. He only took 5 shots, but if he's going to get minutes like this, I agree with you. The value's going to come. And I just love that they're winning. I think it kind of solidifies the mindset that his role should be safe on this team, even when Chandler Parsons eventually comes back, because they're playing really well. One last thought here, Neil. Jaren Jackson Jr. is still an inexperienced rookie, so the foul trouble is real for this guy. He tries to be very aggressive on defense, which gets him into trouble. 5 fouls tonight, which is why he only saw 16 minutes. Still put up a usable line, but man, if he can figure it out and stay out of foul trouble, I think he's going to be very good. All right, man. Going to move over to the Bucks. Got to start with Giannis and 31 points, 2 blocks, a steal, 4 assists, 9 rebounds, 11 of 12 from the line, 10 of 14 from the field. Neil, if I had to find a gripe here, I guess he had 6 turnovers, but I don't even care, man. He is amazing. Chris Middleton with 25 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, 2 threes tonight, 8 of 16, 7 of 7 from the line. Middleton is just the perfect complement to Giannis, and man, he's just a perfect fit for this team. Bledsoe doing his thing with 15 points, 2 steals, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. He added a 3, went 6 of 11 from the field. Nice game here. Brogdon doing what he does every once in a while, which is kind of takes a backseat to the big 3 on this team. Brogdon had 8 points, a block, 5 rebounds, 4 of 11. So the shot wasn't really falling tonight. Might have been a much nicer line if the shot was falling. Brook Lopez coming back down to earth here with 6 points, no defensive stat, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. Made 2 threes, which is nice from your center. That's an all right game. Connaughton off the bench with 16 points. Nobody off the bench really to talk about here, Neil. What are your thoughts on the Bucks?
Yeah, Giannis is he's amazing. The one thing that does keep him out of that top handful of players is just that doesn't shoot the threes, and then his free throw percentage is not the best on a high volume, shooting 70% this year. But my God, he might be the MVP this year. He's certainly going to be in the contest. Milwaukee can win their division and be one of the top few seeds in the East. Let's see. The other thing I would talk about is Bledsoe has had a couple good games recently. I would still hold. I wouldn't sell on him. He's 52nd right now at ACAT. I think he's going to stay. He's going to get better, I should say. Middleton's at 24th in ACAT, and he is, I think, going to stay there as well. I think the only person who I might sell high on, I was going to say Brogdon, but tonight he had a rough game. That's tough for me to evaluate. He's at 93, which I think it might be a little bit high for his overall end of year value, but it's not really far off from what I think. So not a whole lot to take away from this. I guess watch Ilyasova. I think he's the one who benefits most if someone in the front court gets injured and is out for a game or two. We talked about handcuffs earlier. I think he would be the guy who would get the most benefit if some like Lopez had the night off or something like that. So that's what I've got. Should we go on to another close one?
Let's do it. Where are we headed?
We're going to Minnesota, where they beat the New Orleans Pelicans 107-100. And of course, we'll start with my favorite player in basketball, Anthony Davis. 29 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. Did have a rough night shooting, though. 9 of 25, 9 of 10 from the line, 2 3-pointers, 2 steals, 4 blocks. Currently number 3 overall in per game, but he's number 1 in my heart, Adrian. Number 2 out there, the other player, Drew Holiday, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 10 assists, 2 blocks. Did not make a 3-pointer or have a steal. Kind of a slow night for him. A big night, though, from Etuan Moore. 31 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Another guy who can be streamable and is out there in a lot of leagues. Did only go 1 for 4 from the line, which is very strange since he shoots over 50% from the field, including 4 of 8 from three-point land tonight and a steal. Mirotic came back, had a solid game, I should say. 16 points, 10 rebounds, and assists, and a steal, 2 3-pointers. Wes Johnson gets to start with Alfred Payton still out. He played 30 minutes, but did not really do much fantasy-wise. 5 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal and a 3-pointer. Off the bench, not much there. Randall, someone who, this is why I think I might finish. I don't know if I'm going to finish dead last in our fantasy contest tonight, our Hoop Ball fantasy contest. But I started Julius Randle. Played 14 minutes, 3 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 turnovers and 4 personal fouls. So just a really poor night from him. And then Darius Miller played 18 minutes off the bench. This is a very starter-heavy team, so a lot of good fantasy players out there. Etuan Moore, someone, if you need points, good field goal percentage for a shooting guard, and 3-pointers. May not get a steal every night, but he is a good player. Any thoughts from you? Yep.
Yes, Nikola Mirotic fell late in this game, tweaked the same ankle that he sprained recently, which cost him a few games earlier this season. So very possible he may miss another game. In fact, I'm hearing he's likely to have an MRI tomorrow. He doesn't think it's anything serious, and he's hopeful it's nothing serious. But keep an eye on this situation. If he's going to miss any time, Julius Randle will be the main beneficiary here. So it's an interesting situation to keep an eye on, man. All right, going to move over to the Timberwolves. Gonna start with Karl Anthony Towns. A lot of people excited. A lot of Towns owners excited that Jimmy Butler is no longer there. 25 points, 16 rebounds, 2 blocks, 3 assists, shot 9 of 17. He added 2 threes, was a perfect 5 of 5 from the line. Neil, I think we are going to see quite a bit of lines like this from Cat, and this was against a very good defender in Anthony Davis. So really like what I saw from him tonight. And it's Andrew Wiggins with 23 points, a block, 3 steals, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 4 threes. The shooting percentage wasn't great tonight, only 8 of 22. But Neil, we harp on this guy all the time for the lack of the peripheral stats, and he brought it tonight all over the place. I'm really hoping this is a new trend from Wiggins. Maybe he's another guy who will greatly benefit from the loss of Jimmy Butler. Bob Cove, Robert Covington, 13 points, bringing the defensive stats, a block, 2 steals, 2 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 threes. Pretty good start from him. Neil played the most minutes, 41 minutes. I actually think this move is better for Robert Covington because he's going to see a lot of minutes and some pretty good usage. Took 11 shots tonight. I love Bob Cove's rest of the season outlook on the Timberwolves. Taj Gibson with 10 points in 28 minutes. Not much else. And Neil, a little bit of bad news here. My biggest fear for Dario Saric owners was him coming off the bench. And here we go, man. 20 minutes off the bench, 9 points, 2 steals, an assist, 3 rebounds. He did out of 3, but Neil, I am frightened that this may be what to expect from Dario Saric going forward. If he's only going to see high teen minutes or low 20 minutes off the bench, it may not be great for Saric's outlook. Neil, what do you think? Oh, no Rose in this game. Not too much else here. What do you think of the Timberwolves?
Yeah, keep an eye on that Rose. Like you said, it was a knee issue, and see how impactful that is. I agree with you with Sarge. He is just he was at 159 anyway on the ACAT per game rater, so he was not really doing it anyway. And with this first sign tonight, doesn't look very good either. Maybe you hold on for one more game and then see how it goes, or a couple more games and then drop him. But may not be worthy in standard leagues. I agree with you with Robert Covington. I thought he was going to have a drop-off year. Did not happen. He was 36th overall in ACAT or per game, and I agree with you. He may get better. He got 11 shots tonight, which is a little bit more than what he usually gets. Coming in tonight, just averaging 9 field goal attempts, so a couple up on that, but still got his defensive stats: 2 steals and a block and 3 3-pointers. And he's someone like Tibbs probably will fall in love with quickly. And then Karl Anthony Towns, he's back if you're ever worried about him. Currently number 5, and that's going to climb as well. So as a Towns owner in one league, I'm very, very happy to see this. I was one of those guys that was happy that Jimmy Butler left, so it's worked out. All right. We got a couple blowouts to go to. You ready to move on?
Let's do it.
All right. New York at Oklahoma City. This one, I guess, could have been seen from a mile away. Oklahoma City wins 128-103. On the New York side, Kevin Knox, this is the one we should talk about, is now in the starting rotation. He took 16 shots, just made 5 of them. So he got 15 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Did go 3 of 3 from the line, did make 2 3-pointers and had a steal. So that is not a terrible line and maybe worth looking at picking up going against a pretty good Oklahoma City team. The big limelight goes to Tim Hardaway Jr., 20 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 3-pointers and a block. Noah Vonleh, very quiet, 9 points, 4 rebounds in 20 minutes. Did go 3 of 3 from the line, no defensive stats. Mitchell Robinson, I don't know. Some people say hold on to him. I guess if you can wait it out, he will eventually, I think, emerge at some point this season. But right now, not doing much in terms of fantasy. 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal. Does have 3 blocks, but those other categories are killers. Moutier gets a start. I'm not sure why, but he put up 7 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists, and a steal and a block in 21 minutes. Off the bench, Alonzo Trier, I'm still figuring out that name, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals. He may be serviceable. Of course, Canada off the bench still is 19 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, and a 3-pointer. Hazonia gets 22 minutes. Ntilikina 21 minutes. I mean, you're right about Ntilikina. This guy has just not emerged as a fantasy asset. I guess the hype has always been way more than the reality so far for him. I'm looking up where he finished. He is 191 and certainly no longer starting, so no promise there. The big news is Kevin Knox. Are you picking him up, Adrian? What are you? How are you evaluating him?
I am picking up Kevin Knox, but my expectations are very low, and tonight is exactly why. Very poor shooting, and I expect that to be the trend. Was only 5 of 16 from the field tonight. The other thing that I'm really worried about, Neil, he lacks the game to provide peripheral stats, meaning doesn't do much on defense. Assist numbers are real low. The rebounds are okay. So, Neil, if he's going to kill you with your field goal percentage and then not give you a lot else, he's going to be really tough to own in standard leagues. I'm going to pick him up in deeper leagues and hope that he improves and starts to figure it out as the season goes on. But, man, it is going to be a rocky road for him. And then the other thing I want to note, Neil, you mentioned Mitchell Robinson. I'm one of those guys that are sticking it out with him because just the potential is there, man. I just salivate over the potential for good percentages with those blocks. So I'm really hoping at some point it clicks and he can emerge as a good play. Neil, this team is really ugly. Dan used to have a saying for the Kings, no Kings allowed. I almost feel like we need to start saying that for the Knicks. Other than Tim Hardaway Jr., it's really ugly, man. Like, Cantor was the other guy that you felt like was safe. But, man, they're bringing him off the bench and giving him limited minutes. And I'm telling you, man, Neil, the backcourt is so ugly. Moutier, you don't trust. Ntilikina, you can't trust. Hazonia, Dotson, Trier. It's like none of these guys you can trust, man. It sucks. I feel I can go on. I can do an entire show and just rant about how awful the Knicks are. But let's move on, man.
No, we have to do Oklahoma City.
I was already I was already jumping the next game. Let's move on. Oklahoma City Thunder. Still no Westbrook, so it is the Schroeder show. 15 points, a block, a steal, 12 assists, 3 threes, 5 of 10 from the field, a perfect 2 of 2 from the line. He is a safe play while Westbrook is out. So keep him locked and loaded. Paul George, big line from him tonight. 35 points, a block, 2 steals, 5 assists, 7 rebounds, a perfect 4 of 4 from the line, 5 threes tonight. Neil, he took 22 shots, drained 13 of them. Beautiful game from PG. Jeremy Grant, a guy I'm streaming in a few leagues. The defensive stats weren't there, which is very disappointing, but I'll take the 15 points, the 5 rebounds, the 3 threes, the nice 6 of 10 shooting from the field. I will take that. Hamidou Diallo with 11 points off the bench. Their bench tonight, everyone getting minutes in the teens. So, Noel not having a great line. We don't trust really anyone off the bench here. We're all waiting for Westbrook to get back. Neil, what are your thoughts here on the Thunder?
Yeah, this is one of those teams that doesn't have much in terms of fantasy depth. Even their starters sometimes can't trust, like Ferguson. I will say, though, Grant, someone who may already be owned, but he is in the last couple weeks, he is in the 70s. And an ACAT overall, he's in the 120s, and he keeps getting better. He has a nice combination of field goal percentage and threes, and like you said, he can get the defensive stats as well, averaging a steal and a block a game. So, well worth owning if he's still available. And other than that, yeah, I think that's really it. It's just Paul George, Schroeder when Westbrook is out, and then maybe when he's in, he's a low end guard to start, and then Adams is of course fantasy worthy as well. So not much change here.
Let's keep rolling, man.
All right, man.
A lot of games tonight.
I know. We still have a couple to go. This was the biggest blowout of the night. This league is crazy. Utah loses to Dallas by 50.
Oh my gosh.
118 to 68. I don't know what happened here, but it was ugly. Capital U. All right, Utah. I was going to try to do something stupid there. Okay, let's do Utah. Obviously, the minutes and these stats may just want to just throw away. Led by Gobert, 10 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. Hopefully, he didn't start anyone of them in DFS. 3 steals. Mitchell, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. 1 3-pointer and a block. Rubio, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. 4 from the line, a 3-pointer, 4 steals, though. So he did salvage you something there if you had him in your lineup. Joe Ingles, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 of 8 shooting, 2 3-pointers, no defensive stats. Derek Favors, 8-4, no assists, a steal and a block. Jay Crowder off the bench, 5 1-on-1. I'm glad I did no longer have him. He's been struggling shooting, 2 for 12 tonight, including 1 of 9 from 3-point land. Grayson Allen played 21 minutes. Exum played 20. Alec Burks got 17. Yikes. This team just 68 points. That's just crazy. Anyway, nothing to take away except this is one of those games I think an NBA team has once in a while. So I'm not going to really analyze these stats at all. What do you think?
Neil, I cannot believe that they lost tonight and only scored 68 points. This is blowing my mind. I'm so disappointed in the Jazz tonight. Every single player in the minus category. What is going on here? We do not consider the Mavericks a defensive juggernaut. I'm speechless, man. So just an ugly game all around for the Jazz, man. I'm just shocked here. Let's hope they bounce back. Crazy. I'm going to jump in the Mavericks side. Gonna start with I'm going to say it, man. I'm going to start with Rookie of the Year, Luka Doncic. Yeah, that's right. I'm calling it right now. 5 weeks in the season, he's my Rookie of the Year. 13 points, a block, 2 steals, 2 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 threes tonight. Only shot 5 of 13, but I do not care, Neil. He is amazing. Harrison Barnes with 19 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 threes, 4 of 4 from the line, 6 of 12 from the field. You'll take that from Barnes. DeAndre Jordan in only 22 minutes getting 4 points, no blocks, which is disappointing, but did have a steal, 4 assists, 10 rebounds. Who says this guy's selfish, Neil? 4 assists, man. He's trying to pass the ball. 2 of 3 from the field. So, yeah, okay. Dennis Smith Jr., I've been very disappointed in this guy, man. 22 minutes, 7 points, a steal, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. He shot 3 of 9. Wesley Matthews here with 9 points, 3 steals in 21 minutes. We saw the bench get a lot of run tonight with this being a blowout. So some good lines on the bench. Powell with 13, Finney Smith with 11, Barea had 14 here. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Dallas Mavericks, man?
Well, great win for them. I guess I'll start with Dennis Smith Jr. because he's someone I did not target in drafts, and unfortunately he's still on the getting better, learning the system, getting whatever you want to call in the NBA. He has not really come into his own just yet, and fantasy-wise, he's on the outside looking in at 125, and stats had issues, particularly with the percentages. Unlike Luka Doncic, who is now 44th overall and 8 cat, and I'm with you. I called him before the season started, so I want credit for that. That's the Rookie of the Year. Let's see. I will say the one thing to note is if you need points and 3-pointers and free throws, Harrison Barnes, if he's still out there, I mean, he might have been dropped in some leagues. He might just do okay in that tonight. 19 points, 4 from the line, 3-pointers. He's not someone I really like. Doesn't really do a whole lot of categories, but I think he is sort of in that starting role and is going to continue to shoot and put up good sort of popcorn numbers. So that's all I got for Dallas.
Hey, real quick before you move on, want to note that Wes Matthews left this game with a left hamstring strain. So keep an eye on that. We know Wes Matthews is a little older, has a history of injury, so could be something where he misses a few games. The other thing that I want to note, and I'm actually scrambling to try to find it, I could swear I saw something on my Twitter feed about Luka Doncic having a minor shoulder issue. So I'm going to keep an eye on that situation. I can't seem to find anything now, so I'm hoping I just misread that. I can't find anything, so totally disregard what I just said. I hope Luka Doncic, hopefully is fine. All right, man.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll hear about it if there's anything serious. All right, go on to our last game, or at least the last game for the two of us together. San Antonio, Phoenix, another blowout, but it's Phoenix who blows out San Antonio, 116-96. Let's see. San Antonio side, DeRozan 24, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 10 of 10 for the line. No three-pointers, no steals, no blocks, 2 turnovers. Aldridge, just 6 points tonight, 12 rebounds, 3 of 12 shooting. Just a disappointing night for him. But this guy is one we're all talking about. Derek White, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. I was not sure how he would do. So far, so good. He's getting the, unfortunately, got the loss, but he's shooting well. 6 of 12 from the field, 3-pointer. Bryn Forbes started as well. 13 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Dante Cunningham starting as well. 5 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. A couple guys who are starting but not fantasy worthy. Off the bench, Bellinelli gets 25 minutes, 10, 3, and 1 with 2 3-pointers, a steal and a block. Patty Mills, 21 minutes, 8 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists. 3 steals for him, no 3-pointers. Podol, I don't know how to pronounce his name either. 19 minutes, 7 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist. I guess he got a lot of minutes because it's a blowout. 1 steal, 2 blocks. Would not really read anything into that. I think he'll be relegated to a very limited role in more competitive contests. So let's see. Good to see Derek White playing just fine. He will be, if you picked him up, continue to play him. I think he is going to be a fixture in this San Antonio roster and someone you can trust. Maybe not as good as DeRozan or Aldridge, but he will be fantasy worthy going forward. All right. That's all I got. How about you?
All right, man. Not too much else for me to add. You covered it all. And, you know, Spurs are one of these teams where we know, there's not too much to watch because, other than Derek White, and I'm really happy to see him have a good game here. I expected him to kind of emerge as a striking talent in their backcourt. So not too much to add here on the Spurs. I'm going to jump right in on the Suns and seeing some big lines over here. Going to start with TJ Warren. Neil, I get asked every once in a while, do I need to pick up TJ Warren? Yes, please pick up TJ Warren. This is why. 27 points, 3 steals, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 threes. 10 of 17 shooting, led the team in shots, guys. He's shooting. Devin Booker, 13 points, 2 steals. I love that he got 12 assists tonight, trying to facilitate. 4 rebounds, 2 threes. Shooting not too great tonight, was only 5 of 14, but I think Devin Booker will be fine. It was Kanan, 19 points, a steal, an assist, 4 rebounds, 5 of 5 from downtown, 7 of 8 from the field. Neil, I still don't trust him. DeAndre Ayton, 17 points, double-double with 10 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, no blocks, which is disappointing, but shot a very efficient 8 of 11, 1 of 1 from the line. We'll take that. Neil, it was Mikal Bridges getting the start for Trevor Ariza, who was out of this game with a personal issue. So Bridges, little disappointing to only see him get 8 points, 2 rebounds, a block, 4 of 6 from the field. It's okay. Josh Jackson coming back to life. He may have saw some extra minutes here. He played 22 with no Ariza. I think they needed his help on the wing. 14 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, 6 of 13 from the field. 2 threes tonight is nice from him. We'll take that. 11 points from Crawford. Not too much else off of the bench. Neil, what are your thoughts on the Phoenix Suns?
TJ Warren in the last 2 weeks is 27th in ACAT. So he should be owned everywhere. I'm surprised he's still not owned everywhere. And overall 47th. So he is going to be a staple of a very good fantasy team. Not much else to take away. Mikal Bridges, I thought, might do better getting a start. I mean, they did win. His plus-minus was plus 23. So good to see that. If he does ever end up in a starting role, I think he could be worth owning. And then Isaiah Canaan, like you said, if he goes 2 for 5 from three-point land, it's a whole different storyline, and that's more realistic than 5 for 5. So Josh Jackson had a good game off the bench, but again, it was a blowout. So nothing really to take away there. And I think that's it, man. I think we've gone through 10 games. How you feeling? You feel another year older just going from tonight's box scores?
Neil, it is a miracle that I made it to the end of the show. I'm an old man now, and I have to be in bed early, and it's a miracle that I'm still awake and I'm conscious right now, man. So I want to thank you, Neil, for joining me tonight on my birthday. I'm going to get out here. I'm going to eat some birthday cake. And, man, thank you so much. You guys, please hit me up on Twitter at Adrian Benjamins. I'll see you guys. Actually, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, you guys. So I will actually see you guys next week. So thank you guys so much. Neil will be back for one more game on this crazy night.
All right, on to the last game of the night. The Lakers defeat the Trailblazers 126-117, starting off with the Portland side. Great night for Nurkic, 21 points, 14 rebounds, 1 assist, 7 8 from the line, 3 steals, 4 blocks, an old-fashioned Nurk alert. Tonight, Lillard, 31 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists. Did struggle from the field, 8 of 23, but 12 of 13 from the line, including 3 3-pointers and a block. CJ McCollum, 23 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 9 of 20 shooting, 3 3-pointers and 2 steals. Good to see him starting to rebound. He is still outside of the top 100, 136. I have an 8 cat per game going into tonight, but that will certainly change, and he will, I think, at some point climb back into his 5th, 4th round type status. Jake Layman gets a start as well. 23 minutes, 6 points, 4 rebounds. He is not fantasy worthy. One guy who may be fantasy worthy and probably is Al-Farouq Aminu, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 7-11 shooting, 4 3-pointers and 3 blocks. He is, I am showing him as 71 over the last week. Excuse me. I need to go to full season. Al-Farouq Aminu is 127th over the season, but 71 in the last week, and McCollum is up to 79th this season, so pardon me for that. Evan Turner, 27 minutes, 6.7 rebounds, 6 assists, and Zach Collins. It's tough to get a lot of stats when you're playing just 16 minutes. Just had 5 points tonight, no rebounds, no assists, a 3-pointer, steal, and a block. He is 123, someone who should be watched but not owned. I think in absence of Nurkic, he should be owned, but otherwise, just on the fringe of standard leagues, maybe in 14 or deeper. Aminu, though, I think is going to creep his way into that standard league position. You may want to get on him now or wait a couple games and watch him. But he has the ability to, I think, finish around between 1 and 120. So not great, but not bad. He's the one guy I would watch. I'd rather have him over Collins right now. On the Portland side, on the Lakers side, LeBron scored 44 points, now becoming the 5th all-time scorer in NBA history. 10 rebounds added to that, 8 assists, 13 for 19 from the field, 13 for 15 from the free throw line. Great night there. 5 3-pointers, a steal and a block. Fantasy line of the night. Kuzma very quiet in 25 minutes, 7 points, 5 rebounds. Just 3 of 8 from the field, 1 3-pointer, 1 steal. JaVale McGee, solid line, a very good line in 24 minutes. 20 points on 9 of 12 shooting, 4 rebounds. Did have 2 steals and 2 blocks as well. Lonzo Ball, a very serviceable line, 11.6 rebounds, 3 assists on 4 of 11 shooting, including 3 3-pointers and a steal. He is 121 in fantasy, and I think we'll get into that 100 range. Above the 100, top 100, maybe 80 to 100 while it's all said and done. Nice to see him getting 32 minutes tonight, averaging just 25 minutes until tonight. Brandon Ingram, someone who has disappointed this year. 140 and 8 cat per game going into tonight. Had a stellar evening for him. 17 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 of 15 shooting, 4 or 5 from the line. That's where he has been killing people. But tonight had a good night from the line, including a 3-pointer and a steal. Josh Hart, 88th overall, but fading. Perhaps just getting 24 minutes, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist. Maybe you hold on to him, but don't start him until you can see he can produce consistently. Off the bench, Tyson Chandler is going to get around 20 minutes tonight. 21 minutes, 4.6 rebounds, not worth owning in standard leagues. Same with KCP, although he had 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. And Rondo, if you were holding on with him, thinking he might bounce back at some point, he's just not going to get the minutes. I think this 32-16 split may not be the final split going forward between the 2 point guards, but I do think Lonzo Ball will get around 30 minutes a night, 28 to 30 minutes, and Rondo is going to be relegated around 20, and that's just not going to be enough for him. Tonight, just 2 rebounds, 3 assists, no points, 2 steals, droppable in most formats. Maybe serviceable in 16 teams or deeper, but he will fall probably to the 150 to 200 range pretty soon. All right, that's all we got for tonight. Congratulations. We had a DraftKings contest, hoop-ball contest. We got 50 participants, so we put out our entire roster, our entire limit. Congratulations to Shano72 for dominating 318.7 fantasy points, and he wins. Actually, the top 10 participants win $15 on a $3 entry fee. The bottom 40 get nothing, including myself, who finished 50th out of 50. Anyway, congratulations. I think this is something we're going to be doing every week on Wednesday nights. Again, it's going to be a $3 entry fee into DraftKings. The top 10 finishers get $15. And then if you get first place, you will also get a hoop ball t-shirt. So I deposited $25 into my DraftKings account for the first time ever. I'm still playing around with daily fantasy, and clearly far away from being good at it. So that's one person less you have to worry about competing against each week. Come join us next week. It'll be it's usually tweeted out through the Hoop Ball Fantasy Twitter account. Excuse me. I will also retweet it. So does Dan. So does Aaron Brewski and all the other Hoop Ball celebrities. So with that, good night, everyone. I will be back on tomorrow with someone other than Adrian Benjamins. Until then, good evening.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.